Hello and welcome to J Talks Film, where today I watched Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, streaming on Disney+. Now I go into every movie I watch with an open mind, but I admit I came to this one with very, very low expectations. I knew almost nothing about the movie going in. I assumed it would be like any other one of these old cartoon TV show reboots, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Smurfs, any of those, which I have hated all of up to this point. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I found out that the guys from The Lonely Island were the ones behind making it. Akiva Schaffer directed it. Andy Samberg does one of the main voices of Dale, I believe. And even Yorma has a few smaller bit parts of doing voices in this movie. I don't know if he was any further involved than that. But the humor from that team, who I've been following since before they were even on Saturday Night Live, when they just had their website, The Lonely Island, it really bleeds through. And I found myself having a really good time with this movie. Laughing out loud regularly. It completely caught me off guard, and I had a great time watching it. I think Chip 'n Dale is a movie that kids will like, but it's really more made for people old enough to remember when Rescue Rangers was on TV. A lot of the jokes and visual gags are callbacks to older cartoons that young children today probably won't get. Now, they're obviously going to have fun with all of the fun visual stuff. There is exciting action. I do think kids will like this movie, but this is going to be one of the rare treats where people aren't just saying that it's for the whole family. I do think adults will like this movie. It's legitimately funny, but the kids will have a good time too. This is really more of a satire of those modern remakes of older shows than it is a legitimate attempt to make one. Now, it's kind of both. It's not mean-spirited when it comes to, like, laughing at Alvin and the Chipmunks and stuff. It's more tongue-in-cheek, appreciating what they are, but also recognizing how kind of silly a lot of it is. So I do think that it's respectful to what it's satirizing, but it's very funny at the same time. You know, it rips on why do all these cartoon characters have to rap in all the modern movies, makes fun of the fact that so many of them go CGI rather than staying hand animated like they used to be. And all of it's done pretty cleanly and in a way that doesn't ever hurt the flow of the film. It doesn't suffer that Family Guy syndrome of constant cutaway gags to something else. Everything happens within the narrative of the movie while it's moving forward. And for the vast majority of the film, it moves at a good clip. Now, I would say I was completely in. I was engrossed. I was having a great time for probably a whole hour of this movie. After that, when you sort of get into the final act, the last 30 minutes, it did really start to feel like it was dragging to me. I was definitely ready for it to end, probably a good 10 to 15 minutes before it actually did. And since it's barely over 90 minutes, that's not necessarily a good thing. But a lot of the end, the climax, did feel like that was more targeted towards the kids that they were trying to get with the movie. Nothing in the final act really separates it from the movies that it should be satirizing. It kind of just does fall into line and do what they all do there, with your big action scene, beat the bad guy, happy ending, everyone's together and friends again. That's fine. I was just ready for it to be over, and then it was over. So, if you're looking for something to watch with the kids, this is a great choice for that. And honestly, even if you don't have kids, if you were a 90s kid or a late 80s kid, you'll probably have a really good time with this movie. Clearly, it was made by people that lived through it, that understand it, and it does a really good job kind of ripping on modern Hollywood in a lot of legitimately funny ways. So yeah, it may drag on a little bit longer than it needs to, but you could do a whole lot worse. In the end, I do recommend Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers on Disney+. One of the few good reasons to actually subscribe to Disney+. I'm not the biggest fan of the service in general, but they got it right this time. They should work with funny people like The Lonely Island more often. It really paid off here, in my opinion. I hope you liked the review. I do think that it's a good movie, worth your time. If you want to see what I reviewed last week, I did Firestarter. You can check that out right here. And if you're interested in some more long-form critiques, I do in-depth critiques every single week, usually on horror films, but it's not going to be horror exclusively. Please check out that as well. I work really hard on it, and I would really appreciate it if you gave it a chance. If you like what I do, like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it, and I will catch you next time. This has been J Talks Film. Have a great day.